Hi guys, today's video is on numbers in Korean. If you need a subtitle, please turn on CC in the settings. As I told you in the last video on Sino Korean numbers, there are two kinds of number systems in Korean. By the way, if you haven't watched my video on Sino Korean numbers, please watch that video before you watch this one. Here's the link for that video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at native Korean numbers. Native Korean numbers are based on pure Korean, whereas Sino-Korean numbers are based on Chinese characters. Native Korean numbers are used for general counting, such as counting people, animals, hours, things, ages, and many more. I'm going to be showing you some examples on how to use them later in this video. First of all, let's learn how to count from 1 to 10. As I read the numbers, try to repeat after me if it's possible. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Let's read it one more time. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Now we're going to move on to 10-digit numbers. Although it might not be easy to memorize these numbers at first, once you become familiar with them, it's going to be very simple and easy to say any numbers in Korean. 스물, 서른, 마흔, 쉰, 예순, 일흔, 여든, 아흔. One more time. 스물, 서른, 마흔, 쉰, 예순, 일흔, 여든, 아흔. These 18 numbers are everything you need to know to say any numbers in native Korean number system. Now let's try to read different numbers using the reference on the left. The first number is 15. 15 is a combination of 10 and 5, which makes it 15. The next one is 24. 24 is a combination of 20 and 4, which makes it 24. 43. 43 is a combination of 40 and 3, which makes it 43. 57 is a combination of 50 and 7, which makes it 57. The last one is 89. 89 is a combination of 80 and 9, which makes it 89. It's pretty simple, isn't it? But there's one thing you need to be careful of. In Korean, there's this thing called counter words. Counter words are specific words used to count different objects. Examples of English counter words are a piece of cake, a loaf of bread, a cup of water. In Korean, there are many more counter words and we use them very often. Some examples of Korean counter words are 명 for people, 말이 for animals, 개 for general things, 살 for age, 병 for bottles, and 대 for cars. The reason why I'm telling you about counter words is that when these counter words are used with native Korean numbers, the numbers 1 through 4 slightly change its form. So 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷 turn into 한, 두, 세, 네 when they are placed before a counter word. And here are the examples. How do you say two people in Korean? At the beginning of this video, we learned that number 2 is 둘 in native Korean, but since we need to use counter word 명 to count people, we should say 두 명 instead of 둘명. How do you say 21 things in Korean? The counter word for general things is 개. So instead of saying 스물하나 개, we should say 스물한 개. How do you say 13 years old? The counter word for age is 살. So instead of saying 13살, you should say 13살. Lastly, how do you say 34 bottles? The counter word for bottle is 병. So instead of saying 34병, you should say 34병. So just try to remember that 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷 change its form to 한, 두, 세, 네 when they are used with a counter word. Now it's time for a little quiz. There are 10 questions in this quiz, and you have 5 seconds to answer each question. Let's get started. How do you say 12? 열둘, 열둘. How do you say 26? 스물여섯, 스물여섯. How do you say 35? 서른다섯, 서른다섯. How do you say 47? 마흔일곱, 마흔일곱. How do you say 58? 쉰여덟, 쉰여덟. How do you say 61? 예순하나, 예순하나. How do you say 73? 일흔셋, 일흔셋. How do you say 84? 여든넷, 여든넷. How do you say two people? 두 명, 두 명. How do you say four things? 네 개, 네 개.